Jack, I wanted to start with you. You've said in the past that one of the privileges and challenges of being an actor is to make the experiences of the characters you play look and feel real. How did you create the space for yourself to dig into Siegfried's journey as he grapples with his PTSD and exploration of his sexuality?
I really can't emphasize enough how much it came from Terence in the script. It was a very unique project in that sense that very little was down to our interpretation. It was all Terence. So if Terence could, he could have acted every single part. So we it was a kind of an exercise more in execution and trying to do justice to Terence's script because he felt the whole thing. So it's really down to him, to be honest.
And Jeremy, you've been a part of a lot of projects that are set in distinct times in history. What is about period pieces that excites you as a creative, and how does that change the way that you prepare for a character?
Well, I mean, I'd say it doesn't change the way you prepare, and also it's not something I actively go looking for. It's, you read good scripts, and the good scripts are the ones that you chase, and hopefully you get cast in them. So yeah, I don't know. I think just obviously directors think I look old-fashioned.
There's this interesting relationship that develops between your two characters. What was that collaboration like as you brought that dynamic to life on screen while also filming during a pandemic? And that's a question for both of you.
Well, actually, Jack, do you remember we had to do a scene where we kiss and then immediately had to put our masks back on?
Yeah.
And that made me laugh because, we're in the middle of lockdown and yeah, mask came off, all right, snog, and then mask back on.
That's so true. That was the ridiculous. That's so true. We were terrified of standing in each other's space and sharing cars and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, we had to stick our tongues down each other's throats. And how COVID safe is that? There you go. We were the sorts of meat puppet sacrifices every day.
Yeah. We'll see if Jack and Jeremy survive, and if they do, we'll let production go ahead on some bigger movies.
The film has made its way around the festival circuit, and it's been incredibly well received. What do you think is resonating most with audiences, and what do you hope they take away after they see it?
I think he has a very, very specific way of telling a story, Terence, and I think the very, very specific can sometimes be very universal in that way, and it's a very unorthodox way of telling a biography. So I think it's something that I don't think people thought was coming at the moment. So it's quite a fun piece in that way.
I was not expecting to be moved as much as I was by the film when I saw it. I remember feeling that the script sort of had this sort of tragedy to it, that all these people aren't allowed to really be themselves, and be it speaking out against war or in their personal lives. And I was pleasantly bowled over, I think, by how moving I found, especially Jack's performance in it.
And you've both done it all throughout your career. What was it about this particular character and person that stood out to you? And is there a scene that you're really excited for audiences to see when the film drops?
I'm really excited for people to see. I mean, it is a remarkably talented cast. It was one of those casts that, like we've said this before, it can be quite a lonely experience, particularly if you're the lead in the film. And I speaking from my point of view, I was just supported so well by people, and not just by their talent, by them as individuals, and Jeremy being one of them in particular, who really helped me. And it was fantastic to be sat across from him. So the camaraderie amongst the actors, but that's a very typically British thing. I think most actors in Britain don't really take themselves that seriously, and so it's just a fantastic atmosphere amongst. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. To add to that, I'd say it's, for me, it's, I didn't have the pressure that was on Jack in this. So it was just a great opportunity to have fun with the character and, sort of take it as far as Terence would let me.
And then final question for the two of you. Besides this film, where can audiences see you next?
Wherever, I don't know, wherever they want. I mean, yeah. Hopefully, I want to go on stage sometime soon. That's what I'd love to do. I'd really love to do that sometime soon, if I'm allowed. Yeah.
It's funny, I was thinking about sending an email to my agent the other day actually about that. I would like to go back and do that. It's yeah, I think it's important. But I don't know. I've got a couple of movies coming out. A horror film which I haven't seen yet, which will be exciting. Like I haven't done many of those, so got one of those I think coming out later in the year, and then yeah, TV series as well.